Hey everyone, welcome back to Inner Spark, where we share real stories to inspire students and young people to never give up on their dreams. Today's story is about Henery Brooks, an 18-year-old college freshman in the United States who is on the verge of dropping out due to poor grades. But through an incredible journey of mindset change, resilience, and courage, Henery transformed his academic life and ultimately his future. Before we dive in, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our motivational stories that can change your mindset and your life. Henery sat alone in his dorm room, staring at yet another failed exam. The walls felt like they were closing in as he realized he was barely passing most of his classes. College was supposed to be his chance to succeed, yet he felt like an imposter. Self-doubt consumed him day and night, whispering that maybe he just wasn't smart enough. He hid his struggles from his parents, pretending everything was fine. Every phone call home was a performance filled with fake smiles and empty reassurances. Deep down, guilt gnawed at him because his family had sacrificed so much to put him through college. He started skipping meals and isolating himself from friends, drowning silently in shame. One rainy night, Henery failed another quiz. Walking out of class, he overheard students joking about how hopeless some classmates were. He knew they meant him. That evening, he sat on his bed wondering if quitting was the only way to stop feeling worthless. The next morning, Henery accidentally bumped into Dr. Hayes, a respected psychology professor known for her wisdom. She noticed the sadness in his eyes and gently asked what was wrong. For the first time, Henery opened up about his fear of failing and the thought of leaving college altogether. Dr. Hayes listened patiently and handed him a small book called The Power of Positive Thinking. She said, "Your grades aren't the problem, your mindset is. Change your thoughts and your results will follow." Henery didn't believe it fully, but a spark of hope made him agree to try. That evening, Henery read the first page. Your thoughts shape your reality. It struck him like lightning. He'd been telling himself he was a failure every single day. Maybe it wasn't about being dumb, but about the story he was telling himself. Changing his mindset wasn't easy. Negative thoughts still attacked him during lectures and study sessions. But Henery began writing daily affirmations on sticky notes. I can learn. I can improve. I deserve success. Slowly, his dorm room turned into a wall of positive reminders. For the first time, Henery raised his hand in math class. His voice trembled, but the professor praised his effort. That small acknowledgement boosted his confidence. He realized courage was built one step at a time, not overnight. Mid-semester, his friends invited him to skip classes for a road trip. The old Henery would have gone, running from responsibility. This time he declined, telling himself, I'm building my future, not wasting it. It was his first big decision driven by a new mindset. A major exam approached, and anxiety flooded back. In the exam hall, Henery almost froze. But he closed his eyes, whispered his affirmations, and reminded himself he was prepared. For the first time, he completed the test calmly and confidently. When grades came out, Henery opened the online portal expecting disappointment. Instead, he saw a B, his highest grade so far. He jumped from his chair, overwhelmed with relief and pride. It wasn't just a better grade. It was proof he could change. Henery started joining study groups, something his shy self never dared to do. Working with others boosted his understanding and made him realize he wasn't alone in his struggles. Soon, classmates began asking him for help with difficult subjects. Just as he gained confidence, Henery failed a surprise quiz in another class. The old voice of failure screamed in his head, making him want to give up again. He skipped dinner and sat in the library, battling feelings of defeat. Instead of quitting, Henery met with his professor to understand his mistakes. He learned that failure wasn't a wall, it was a stepping stone. With a new study plan, he started preparing smarter, determined not to repeat the same errors. One afternoon, Henery noticed a freshman crying in the hallway about low grades. Without thinking, Henery sat beside him and shared his own struggles and journey of mindset change. The freshman looked at him with hope and said, "If you can do it, maybe I can too." By semester's end, Henery's GPA climbed from a failing 1.8 to a solid 3.0. When he called his parents to share the news, they cried with joy. But more importantly, Henery finally believed he belonged in college and had the power to succeed. As a sophomore, Henery volunteered as a peer mentor for struggling students. The boy who once avoided people now led motivational sessions, teaching others how positive thinking could change their academic journey, just like it changed his. In junior year, Henery applied for a highly competitive research internship. When he was rejected, disappointment hit hard. But instead of breaking down, he courageously wrote to the program asking for feedback, proving he had grown resilient. Months later, a new position opened in the same program, and they remembered Henery's determination. He was offered the role, marking a full circle moment from almost dropping out to landing a top internship. Even Dr. Hayes sent him a congratulatory note. At graduation, Henery stood on stage, holding an Academic Excellence Award. Looking out at the crowd, he saw Dr. Hayes smiling proudly. Later in his journal, Henery wrote, "Changing my grades began with changing my mindset. A positive mind doesn't make life easier, it makes you stronger to handle it." A year later, Henery was invited back to his college to speak at a freshman orientation event. Standing on the same campus where he once felt hopeless, he shared his journey of transformation. Students listened in awe, many silently connecting with his story of struggle and resilience. Henery also launched a small online community for students battling self-doubt. Through weekly live sessions, he coached them on building confidence and embracing positivity. Soon, hundreds of students joined, creating a support network that inspired change beyond his own campus. Years after graduation, Henery looked back at his journey. From a failing freshman to a successful mentor and professional, he realized the greatest victory wasn't the grades or awards, it was learning to believe in himself. That mindset carried him far beyond college into every challenge life threw at him. Henery's story reminds us that success doesn't start with perfect grades. It starts with how you think about yourself. When you believe in your ability to grow, you unlock strength you never knew you had. No matter how many times you've failed, remember, it's not intelligence that defines you, it's your mindset and the effort you choose to put in. If Henery could transform his life by changing his thoughts, so can you. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Motivated Minds, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss more powerful stories like this one. Stay motivated, believe in yourself, and keep moving forward.